Hi, and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is How to Unlock Spanish, and my name is Iciar. In today's video, we are going to conjugate COMER as a good example of ER verbs. We will see how to conjugate every tense and when to use each of them. Please subscribe and hit the bell so you receive notifications when we upload a new video, and click like to show us that you're interested in this kind of video. Check the grammar section and the GCSE section on www.howtounlockspanish.com to check the grammar, to check the tenses one by one, revision tips, exercises, and a lot more. So let's dive in and let's start with COMER. You can download this template and complete it before you see the video. You can download it for free in our website. You can see the link here on the screen or on the description below. Let's start with the present. We have two tenses, el presente simple, the present, simple, y el presente continuo, the continuous present or the progressive present. We use presente to talk about actions that happen regularly. For example, yo como cereales para desayunar. I eat cereal for breakfast. And we use the presente continuo to explain what we are doing right now. So, estoy comiendo cereales is I am eating cereal. So, for the simple present, we just have to remove ER and start adding the endings for the present, for the simple present. So, ER and IR verbs have the endings O, S, E, hemos, eis, en. So, we will say, yo como, tú comes, él come, nosotros comemos, o nosotras comemos, vosotros coméis, ellos comen, o ustedes comen. For the presente continuo, we use two words. The first word is going to be the presente of the verb estar. So I am, I translated for estoy. And the second word is always going to be the same, because it's the stem of the verb comer, so comer without ER, and adding yendo, because it's an er verb, and er and ir verbs need to add yendo. So we will say, yo estoy comiendo, tú estás comiendo, él está comiendo, nosotros estamos comiendo, vosotros estáis comiendo, y ellos están comiendo. So we use yo como to say what you normally eat, and you use estoy comiendo when you are actually eating right now. So now we are going to conjugate the past tenses for comer. The first one is pretérito indefinido. Pretérito indefinido is used for actions that are already finished, so finished actions in the past, and those actions are like one-off actions. They are not repetitive in the past, or they were not a continuous action, and we are not talking about this continuous action when it was taking place. So, for example, pretérito indefinido would be used for actions like ayer comí paella, yesterday I ate paella. And it goes like as follows. Comí, comiste, comió, comimos, comisteis, comieron. ER verbs and IR verbs in the preterite share the same endings. Now we are going to talk about pretérito imperfecto. Pretérito imperfecto has three different uses. First one is what you used to do in the past. The second one is what was happening when something else happened. And if you are paying attention to that action when was still in progress. And then for description in the past. El pretérito imperfecto has the same set of endings for ER verbs and IR verbs. And it goes as follows. Comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comíais, comían. Presente perfecto. Presente perfecto is an action that didn't end, or an action that the consequence of that action didn't end. Like I've broken my leg, so my leg is broken, still broken. So I would use I've broken my leg, no I broke my leg. And is also used when the past thing that you finished and you did it already, maybe is done in a time frame that didn't end. For example, I had breakfast this morning, but today didn't end. So I might say, he comido cereales para desayunar, because today didn't end yet. It's not like ayer comí cereales para desayunar. The only difference is that ayer ended and hoy, for today, didn't end. El presente perfecto has two different words. The first one is the present conjugation of haber. So es yo, he, tú has, él ha, nosotros hemos, habéis, han. This verb haber is like an auxiliary verb we use to form two words, verbs, forms of verbs. And then the second word is going to be comido, because I have to take out er and add ido. Er verbs and ir verbs both have to add ido, which would be like ed in English. So, he comido, has comido, ha comido, hemos comido, habéis comido, han comido. El pretérito pluscuamperfecto of pluperfect is very easy as well, because it's two words and the second word is going to be the same one as in the presente perfecto. The first word is going to be the imperfect of the verb haber. So it goes, había comido, habías comido, había comido, habíamos comido, habíais comido, habían comido. And we use the pluperfect the same as we use the pluperfect in English, to say what you had eaten or had never eaten before certain action we were talking about in the past. So the pluperfect is going to be an action in the past that is even previous, like happened even before of the one action you are talking about now. So yesterday I ate paella, but I had never eaten it before. Ayer comí paella, pero nunca había comido paella antes. El pasado continuo is very similar to the presente continuo. So the first word is going to be the verb estar, conjugated in the imperfect tense. Estaba, estabas, estaba, estábamos, estabais, estaban. The second word is going to be the gerund that we know already from the presente continuo. Comiendo, because it's comer, we take away er and we add yendo. So it's going to be estaba comiendo, estabas comiendo, estaba comiendo, estábamos comiendo, estabais comiendo, y estaban comiendo. This form is going to be used to express an action that is continuous and we are paying attention or talking about that action when it was still in progress. So yes, it could be used, the pasado continuo, or you could also use the imperfect. So you could in fact never use the pasado continuo, because one of the three uses of the imperfect that we talked about before was like the action in progress. Now we are going to conjugate the future tenses. So the futuro inmediato, immediate future, or certain future, is voy a comer. And it's very easy to form, to conjugate. We use the present of the verb ir, voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van, plus a, plus the infinitive. So we will say voy a comer, vas a comer, va a comer, vamos a comer, vais a comer, van a comer. This future means I'm going to eat. So instead of I am going to eat, we can use the future, el futuro simple, which is I will eat. So instead of I'm going to eat, which is voy a comer, you may say I will eat. And that's comeré. So for the futuro simple, as well as for the conditional simple, you can see in yellow, we don't remove er, we don't remove the infinitive ending. So we conjugate using the infinitive plus the proper endings. And the proper endings for the futuro simple are the same endings for ar, er, and ir verbs. They share the same set of endings. So we will just conjugate the futuro simple, saying comeré, comerás, comerá, comeremos, comeréis, comerán. To say I will have eaten, like in English, we will conjugate the future of haber, which is habré, habrás, habrá, habremos, habréis, habrán, and that will be the first word, and the second word of the tense will be comido, which is comer plus the ido, and it will be habré comido. So I will have eaten is yo habré comido, and then tú habrás comido, él habrá comido, nosotros habremos comido, vosotros habréis comido, ellos habrán comido. For example, cuando llegues, yo ya habré comido. When you arrive, I will have eaten already. And now let's conjugate the conditional simple tense. The conditional is the I would tense. So I would eat, like I would eat paella every day. Comería paella todos los días. Is conjugated as in the future simple, keeping the ending of the infinitive tense. And then we add the endings of the conditional. As you can see, the endings of the conditional simple tense, they are the same. They share the same endings as in the imperfect for ER verbs. So the imperfect for ER verbs was comía, and now the conditional simple is comería. So the only difference between the imperfect and the conditional simple tense in the ER verbs is that in the conditional simple tense we keep the infinitive ending. So it's very simple to conjugate, and it's comería, comerías, comería, comeríamos, comeríais, comerían. The condicional perfecto is going to be conjugated very similarly to the futuro perfecto. We just conjugate haber in the conditional, which is habría, habrías, habría, habríamos, habríais, habrían, and then we add comido, like the ed at the end of the stem, so ido for verbs and verbs. So that would be habría comido, tú habrías comido, habría comido, nosotros habríamos comido, vosotros habríais comido y ellos habrían comido. I would have eaten. And now we are going to conjugate the subjuntivo presente. El subjuntivo is very difficult to learn for an English speaker because in their own language, English speakers don't really identify where they use the subjunctive. Sometimes it's a past form of the verb, sometimes it's just a structure of the sentence. So for the subjunctive, I invite you to go and check the post on our website about weird verbs, which are it's like an acronym, like W is for wish, I is for impersonal expressions, E is for emotions. So it's like a trick or a rule and a lot of exercises and examples to help you identify the subjunctive, which is used for expressing wishes, expressing emotions, and normally we don't use subjunctive when we are stating something or being certain about something. So here we will just conjugate the presente subjuntivo, and for comer it goes coma, comas, coma, comamos, comáis, coman. As you can see, I'm using the endings of adverbs instead of adverbs, and yo uses the same ending as él, ella, and usted. Now I'm going to talk about el subjuntivo imperfecto. So are, and verbs, the three of them, share the same set of endings. But for the subjuntivo imperfecto, you have two different sets of endings you may choose. You may choose either of them. Both of them are used in writing, speaking, and nowadays. So what we will have to do to conjugate the subjuntivo imperfecto is just get the ellos preterite, so for comer would be comieron, and then you just take out ron and you get comie, and then you add the ending. You can use the endings ra, ras, ra, ramos, rais, ran, or the endings se, ses, se, semos, seis, sen. So it will go like comiera o comiese, comieras o comieses, comiera o comiese, comiéramos o comiésemos, comierais o comieseis, comieran o comiesen. Now we are going to talk about another mood, which is imperativo. Imperativo is used to give commands, orders, or recommendations. So we don't have any command to give our own selves. So we start with tú. With tú, we are going to use the tú of the presente, comes, and then we take away the s. So it would be come. For él, ella, and usted, we are going to use the same ending as in the subjunctive. So for usted, we use the subjunctive. We don't have a command for él o ella. We just have it for usted. ¿Sí? So es tú come. Usted coma. For nosotros, we always also use the subjunctive. And for ustedes, we also use the subjunctive. So the only one we have to conjugate really as imperative is the tú, which is the tú form, comes of the presente, taking away the s. And then vosotros. So vosotros, I get the infinitive and I just take away the r and add a d. So it would be comed. For the imperative negative, saying something like don't eat, we just use the subjunctive for all of the forms and just put no in front of it. So we say no comas, usted no coma, no comamos, no comáis, no coman. So I hope it was helpful to see all the tenses together, like with the verb, with one example, and see when to use them really, because one of the most difficult things with the verbs is knowing when to use each tense, and more in the past tenses, right? Is one of the most tricky things when you are learning Spanish. You can also please check our website and subscribe to the channel, because we are going to upload more videos for the regular verbs and irregular verbs, and I think it will help to ace the tenses and grammar. And we also have a grammar section, a GCSE section that might help you a lot. So I hope to see you soon, and bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you for learning with us, and I look forward to seeing you again in our channel.